let's talk about machine learning. So what exactly is machine learning?
All right, so to level set machine learning, so machine learning is an aspect of AI, and we can have a look at it up here. So I sketched a few notes just yesterday in my spare time. My whiteboard that I love to have as part of my tech lab to sketch out things exactly like this. So artificial intelligence, obviously, is very much a big buzz at the moment, and machine learning is really just one aspect of that. But there's other bits as well, like natural language processing, vision, so having machines that can actually understand the world in a visual sense, and then planning and prediction, so that the machine is able to understand what to do now and how it will impact the future as well. So it's really just a subset of machine learning, of artificial intelligence. Now, I think people use the term machine learning a little bit expansively, actually. So I think for me, machine learning is really a machine that is thinking and learning like a human. Whereas I think that people use it interchangeably with a lot of statistical techniques, etc. So if I ran through the pathway of algorithms in terms of simple algorithms to very advanced algorithms, I think the simplest version of machine algorithms are rules-based decisioning. So, you might have a certain ad or message that you want to deliver at a particular day, or against a particular geography, and you can just set some basic rules. Statistical reasoning is where you're looking for patterns in data. So this might use regression or clustering or something like that, but really you're giving the machine some data and helping it find patterns within that data. I think people often talk about machine learning as these adaptive algorithms. So day in, day out, as we're delivering advertising across the internet, we're using adaptive algorithms, whereby perhaps an optimization algorithm might be looking at the click-through rates across different domains, and then actually distributing media differently depending on the click-through rates of domains. But then if that click-through rate changes, then the algorithm actually changes the way that it's delivering.
Right.
And I think people often talk about this as machine learning. For me, machine learning is much more about this human learning capability.
And talking of human learning, I mean, a term that has been a huge buzzword for the past few years has been big data.
Yes.
But we now exist in a world where data is actually beyond human comprehension. So what is next for big data? And what does big data mean in today's world, and how do advertisers grapple with that?
Well, I think data's not really beyond our comprehension yet. So it's absolutely true as we're getting to artificial intelligence and true machine learning that there's no way to actually tell what process the machine is going through to make the decision. So it lacks what they call explainability. But that doesn't mean big data is dead. I mean, I think every advertiser needs to take a lot of control over their data. Big data used to be a big buzzword, and now it's not so much of a buzzword, but that doesn't change the fact that we need to have control of our data. What I would say is that big data should not be an aim in itself. So an advertiser really needs to understand what value they're trying to get from their data, and really create those fundamental value mechanisms first. And you bring data together to create the value. You don't have an objective to create big data. But it's still absolutely fundamental to every advertiser's efforts right now, or should be.
And moving on along from big data to the next step, there's a big talk this year of advertiser-owned algorithms, building your own algorithm. Is that what advertisers need to be looking at next? Is that the next stage for them?
I think there's probably a little bit too much buzz about that, to be honest. When I think about algorithms, already day in, day out, we're using advertiser-tailored algorithms, right? Now, I think that's really important for an advertiser to worry about. So when you think about an automatic optimization algorithm, for instance, we're taking real-time signals from an advertiser, and then we're judging how to disperse media in the right way to drive more and more of that result that an advertiser wants.
Right.
Now, that's tailored to the advertisers specifically, and each and every advertiser gets that. Now, equally, we as an audience-based business are really interested in reaching the right audience for your business. So it might be the specific persona you've given me, it might be just your converting audience, it might be something we've developed together based on surveys. But I can bring data in from your organization into mine and then model it against the universe of user profiles that we know exist in whatever market we're operating within.
Right.
And actually we're updating that model potentially hundreds of times every single day. So that is absolutely 100% tailored to you as an advertiser. So I do think there is some value in creating bespoke advertiser algorithms, but I think there's probably too much focus on it. Now, I did sketch out a little equation that actually I wrote about 15 years ago, except this bit. I added this bit just yesterday. So, rather than really worrying about an advertiser-specific algorithm today, I'd be thinking more about the fundamentals. So what this is really saying is the likelihood, these P's of probability, so the likelihood of creating value has to do with the amount of attention that ad will get, and then how compelling the proposition is, so really the message.
Right.
And then finally, how easy it is for the consumer to actually do what you want them to do. So if you think about attention, for instance, viewability is fundamentally important, and
Absolutely.
Actually Group M, of course, is probably leading that conversation, which I'm pretty happy with. But so you want these ads to be on the screen, obviously. But then you want your creative to be able to capture their attention as well. So it's all very well for it to be on the screen, but if the creative just blends into the environment, for instance, it's not really going to capture attention. And then we need to think about message timing. So quite often we find that we have advertising creative where the message might be 15 seconds in to the animation, right? And we know that that ad is only on page for a certain amount of time. So you really need to be able to get that message in front of someone. So ad on page, ad capturing attention, and then the message in front of that person. And then pushing across, we can think about the proposition. So how accurate is that message, or how suitable is it to the person? So that comes back to the audience-based targeting. And at Xaxis, we're experimenting at the moment with automatically building advertising creative based on exact audience characteristics, which can really help with this piece. You think about whether it's the right time to reach someone, whether the proposition is attractive to them, whether it has the impact that you want. And then the final piece is really the advertiser's prerogative to ensure that the conversion website is easy to understand, it's easy to navigate, etc., etc. But rather than trying to worry about a specific advertiser developed algorithm, I'd be actually thinking about these fundamentals. Is my ad visible on page? Is it having the impact? Are people able to do what they need to do? And the danger with advertiser-led algorithms is that you don't want to divorce your delivery algorithm from the media environment, right? You want to work with a partner that can develop an algorithm that works in the universe of media, in the programmatic space, in this real, very dynamic data world. If you create an advertiser algorithm back here based on some CRM data and plug it into the media world where you're doing potentially evaluating a billion ad opportunities a day, it's not necessarily going to work.
No.
It might work in your mind, but it doesn't actually work in practice. So I think at best, advertisers might have their own algorithms, but they need to really sit alongside a much broader campaign management execution strategy.
So people think of AI as being light years away and something that's kind of very pie in the sky, but how is it being applied in the real world today?
Well, I think people probably don't realize that AI is actually controlling much of the world they're living in today. If you look at the energy grid, for instance, that's actually completely managed by AI. There's machine learning capabilities in the airlines that you fly. But one of my favorite examples that really makes me feel like I'm living in the future, but it's today, is Skype and real-time Skype conversations. So I can have a real-time conversation with someone in China, someone in France, and Skype will actually do a real-time translation of what I'm saying into Chinese.
Wow.
Or what they're saying into English. And that's fundamentally only possible because of neural networks and machine learning, because the interpretation of language and voice is actually very, very challenging, and neural networks and machine learning have been the way to achieve that. It's the same, I have the Amazon Echo over there, And these voice assistants, again, it comes right back to machine learning and AI, so it's a really tangible example. For us, it's really important to be experimenting with AI and machine learning. We already have our adaptive algorithms, which I talked about earlier.
Yeah, sure.
But we are actually leveraging neural networks today. So we have a program called Copilot, and we have a bunch of engineers and data scientists. And there's some very, very tangible things in there where we're just valuing impressions differently based on how people have interacted with the website.
Mm-hmm.
But then we also have this neural network program that is actually just looking at the data sets, unsupervised, as they say. So basically looking for its own patterns in the data and then making assessments about the value of advertising. Now, we run that in a controlled way alongside everything else we're doing, but
Right.
it's really, really important for us as a business to be leaning into AI and really creating something tangible out of it.
Mm.